I am Benjamin. Welcome to another Numismatic Notes with Benjamin. Today I'm going to share with you a group of banknotes that all show rainbows on the banknotes. And I'm not trying to be edgy, and I'm not trying to be political. Let me explain my background. I grew up as a child in the Panhandle of Oklahoma when a rainbow was something we excitedly looked for because we had so little rain that we loved it when we could see a rainbow. And in my mind, every time I see a rainbow, I can smell the earth and the wind after a rainstorm, and it is some of the sweetest smelling smells I can ever have imagined smelling. And I grew up with the rainbow in the context as a promise from God that there would never be a situation where there would be a flood that would kill humanity. And so I do enjoy rainbows. I enjoy sometimes here in Moore, Oklahoma, with the bad weather we've had, that sometimes you can see sometimes 2 and 3 rainbows simultaneously in the sky over more. And there's a little bit of a promise that makes me feel a little bit better about how, even though my town has been destroyed in a tornado, it's not necessarily going to be destroyed by a flood anymore. I'm going to share with you about 4 or 5 notes that I've been able to find that have rainbows on them, or a rainbow of coloring. What is absent from this list is a lot of banknotes from China, which would fit nicely in here, especially when they have serial numbers that gradually change color as you go from the left to the right. And of course, many modern banknotes have extremely wide and beautiful security strips that reflect in a rainbow of color. I'm just going to show you notes that were meaningful to me in terms of a rainbow. And the first note I'm going to share with you is from Angola, and it is a 10 Whatsits. No, it's a 10 Kwanzas. And before I turn this note over, I want you to like and subscribe so that you can enjoy all the other videos in my channel. And on the back of the note, we have a waterfall. So it's not surprising in the least that you would have a rainbow. Can you guys see that rainbow? Starting here and moving slowly up across the note. Exactly where I would expect to see a rainbow. We're going to move from Africa to Europe, and we're going to take a look at a 20 koron from Czechoslovakia. This is from 1988, and it is a vibrantly colored note. On this side, we have grays, we have blues, we have yellows that meld into orange, and we have reds with the Czech lion. Very beautiful note, but when you turn it over, you also have the tree of life. You have educated thought. You have the flames of freedom of thought. You have flowers in color here, you have flowers here, you have a book, you have the tree of life, that's fruit. I used to think that that might be the tree of knowledge of good and evil because it's growing out of a book. And then behind it you have a rainbow. And this rainbow is very classic in its prismatic action. You can see Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. The order of light in the spectrum. It's a beautiful banknote. It's a very colorful banknote, and it's in the top 10 for me as far as beautiful looks. We're going to move over to Africa to take a look at a Uganda 10 shilling. And this note is surprisingly washed out and rather boring looking, you know, on the face of things. So let's turn it over and see why I included it in a rainbow. Oh, do you see it? We have a rainbow, not necessarily in color, but over here with elephants and hippos and horned beasts, we have a waterfall. And over the waterfall from left to right, we have a rainbow. And I think you can sometimes find banknotes of Zimbabwe that are oriented the same way. If you guys haven't clicked the button to like and subscribe to my channel, do so now. As you're thinking about other notes that you know that have rainbows on them, include them in the comments so that we can get a nice list together, and my website can become a reference for people as they look for themes on banknotes. The final note I'm going to share with you is from Colombia, and this is from their most recent family of banknotes. This is a 2,000 peso, and I believe this is from 2015, and it's not very rainbowy on this side. It's beautiful. I mean, you have some golds, some blues, a little bit of red, and a lot of slate, you know, very nice. And then perhaps at her feet you see waves of color changing as it progresses from one side of the note to the next. But when you turn this note over, whoa, look at that. I don't even know if that's real or if that's just colorful for this banknote, but it makes me want to go and visit. This note is a riot of color in the whole left to the central half of this note. I want to believe that that's a real sight that you can see. I've heard that there were some colorful pools in Turkey that were similar. Can you add to this list? Do you know of any other rainbows that appear on banknotes? Like and subscribe and comment. Cuss and discuss with Benjamin. I am Benjamin. This has been Numismatic Notes with Benjamin. Have a jewel of a day.